What's going on, everybody? Dots Gaming here, and today I have a PvP commentary on the Crimson Reaper build. So this was an early BG that I did on the build. I actually think this was the first BG I did testing out the build. So the sustain in the build is a little bit higher than the final version. I figured out that with the final version, I was definitely able to get in a little bit more damage. So that is what we went with for the final version of the build. So this build's actually going to have slightly less damage than the final version, but it's still, you're going to see how well it works. And then I'm using, as you can see in my back bar, I'm using Harness Magicka instead of Dampen. Did realize very quickly that Dampen would be the superior shield. Also did not even need the sustain from Harness, so we did go with Dampen. But I just wanted to point those two quick differences out so that you guys know that there were from the build video to this. But the reason I thought this would serve as a good PvP commentary is because it was one of my first games on it. Really was my first game back playing Magicka Nightblade in years, so it wasn't a perfect game, so I thought it would make a good demonstration for a PvP commentary. I will also be trying to take this a little bit slower than my other ones, just to really kind of focus on the as much educational value as possible and not just shoutcast through the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to try taking it a little bit slower when I talk about stuff. So we do start off, this is deathmatch. We're going to be just looking for players to kill. And immediately off the bat, we're just kind of surveying. And then I get ganked right here from this guy. Now, as soon as that happens, okay, I apply my Summon Shade for my Necropotence as well as the Minor Maim on this guy. And I apply my Damage Shield. Swap to my front bar because I know I'm generally got enough defense here. We already had our Merciless, or we apply our Merciless to get our buff going to get the percent mitigation as well as count up the light attacks. I go into a Swallow Soul to kind of get some heals rolling. I get ganked by a different person. So what happens is that I CC break. Okay, when I get ganked by this person, I went back a little bit far. I just switched to video player, so I got to get used to the controls and how far they jumped. So I got ganked by a second Nightblade. So as soon as that happens, I immediately CC break and dodge roll to try to avoid any burst that they might be doing after their attack. Okay, so we dodge roll, and then we pop Vamp Form. Vamp Form heals us back to full health. This is kind of a cluster around the center, so I know, you know what, we're just going to pop Vamp Form and go really hard here. So we pop Vamp Form and start going into the light attack, Swallow Souls, and this guy just gets eaten up. We continue the light attack, Swallow Souls to try to stack up our bow. Our bow does get up, and we do have to back off though because we are taking a little bit of pressure. So basically what happened here was I noticed, let me go back here. So we start going into light attack force spells. My action duration reminder has been really weird with Merciless. It's like says I have Merciless but only have 4 stacks. So I really should have used it here or tried to use a skill. Now what happens, and the reason I misformatted here is because as you can see, I see people, I could use my new tools. I see people over here, okay? I have this guy right here, and I'm also getting attacked from behind. So we are clearly pinched in this situation, and as you can notice, my stamina bar is at a whopping 12%. So we are in a pretty bad spot here, not where we want to be. So what I end up doing, I see like I said, the team behind us, I missed form. I know that if I get CC'd there, I'm going to eat all that damage. So we missed form to get out, kind of reset our position. So I back out. Now I have a much better survey of the field. Now everybody's in front of me. So I get some heals rolling, get my shade back up, swap to my front bar again, fire off the bow, and absolutely nuke this guy. I saw he was low, so I targeted him with my bow and shot it out. We start light attack weaving on this next target here, and then we do drop out of Vamp Form. So now that we dropped out of Vamp Form, I'm going to take the time, reset all my buffs here. Now this Warden starts pushing into us with Permafrost. So we come behind this pillar just to get, use the pillar to our advantage. We are the range target here. So he starts to come into us with that perma. So he, at this point, has major protection and is dealing frost damage to me over time. So he is going to be in the advantage if I sit in his permafrost. So what I do is I take this opportunity and I misform out of it. I go right to the edge, kind of drag him a little bit, and then I use the advantage of my shade to poof away. And now I have a lot of distance between me and him, so I'm able to reset all my buffs. He gap closes to me. So I try to go for the CC on him, but unfortunately it does not work because he was facing away from us, and then he ends up just running away. But as you can see, we used the mobility tools in the build to get away from this guy's ultimate. He burned a lot of ult for this. Permafrost is very expensive. So again, we use that, get out, shade, and now we are in the driver's seat to do whatever we want here. So as this guy pushed into us, we went for the fear, which was the right play, because see, we got the bow right here. I knew he was going to get light attack bow, so we tried to go for the fear to CC, but he did turn around, as you can see, and he unfortunately was able to escape because of that. I tried to fire the bow to see if I can get a cheeky crit on him as he ran away, but it did not land. So we have this Templar start pushing up to us. I apply all my buffs to him. We got our Ellie Drain. We have our back bar buffs running. We are in a pretty good spot. I try to go for the CC. He is facing away. Now, this is a really crucial mistake on my part. I hit misform here. I believe it was just a misclick on my part. So I'm getting attacked by this Templar. Okay, what I should have done before engaging this Templar, because it's clearly a Templar with jabs and Groth Dart, right? On our... So we are here. We reapply our Shade. We reapply our siphoning attacks. I am also applying my rapid regen. So I literally did 3 out of the 4 correct things on this back bar. I did not apply my damage shield. I don't know if I tried to apply it and it didn't go off, or if I just forgot. Let me see. Nope, I just didn't apply it. I should have 100% applied my hardest Magicka before going into this fight. I'm at full health, so it would have given me a huge boost to my effective max health, and I would have been able to stay offensive on this guy longer. And I probably would have killed him because I also start getting damaged by the red guy as he pinches in. Or no, excuse me. The red guy is damaging this green guy here. I start getting damaged by his team. And so here, unfortunately, I'm fighting probably not in the best direction. I actually, this is going to be a very good teachable moment here so I can show what my big mistake was. So we reapply our buffs. We got siphoning attacks, Shade. We got this guy buffed up. So far, buff application is good. Okay, but here, we notice, right? There's guys coming from this direction, and there's guys coming from this direction. I should not be kiting this way. That's a terrible idea, especially because my Shade is right here. What I should have done is kite it out that way, to the right, because what I could have done... Let me clear this, I'll show you guys. If I had kited over here to this pillar, I would have had LOS on this pillar. No one would have been able to hit me. None of these guys would have been able to hit me. And if this guy started to pinch into me, I would have been able to simply poof to my Shade. And I would have had instantaneous distance between myself and that Templar. So pulling back like this, also, like I said, these guys were able to just fire at will at me. And so I put myself in a really poor position, and the mist form effectively did nothing for us when I went into it, just because literally I'm at 24% HP. And if I tried to Shade, I would have still been in this Groth Dart. In this area, that would have been perfectly safe. So that was just a really, really bad misplay on my part. And that just goes to show you why in PvP, positioning is so important. That's why I always say on my stream, LOS is the greatest form of mitigation, because if people can't hit you, you're not taking any damage, obviously. But using pillars and using positioning to your defense is just incredibly important, and it can really help isolate the number of targets that are able to hit you at once. And, it puts less of a strain on your healing and less of a strain on your shields, and you're just able to stay offensive longer as well, since your defense isn't being strained as much. Now, see these guys fighting up here, so I immediately start going into my buff application. So we have all 4 of our buffs up. We have our Shade for our Necropotence. We have Siphoning Attacks for sustain and healing. We have Merciless Resolve for our damage, and Ellie Drain for damage and sustain. So we start just light attack weaving on people, just getting some damage in. We get our degen up on one person, so we do have the major sorcery buff running. We do fire off the spectral bow on that guy, but I guess I didn't fire it off on that guy. I think I tried to. Nope, yeah, I tried to, and it didn't go off. You can see it was like a half animation. So someone just comes out of stealth and tries to Dawnbreaker me. So I immediately dodge roll. I fire off my bow because I'm close to him to try to get some healing, but he does a good dodge roll there, so unfortunately it does miss. Now, I do know that there is a Nightblade around me, so I actually use my Shade again to refresh my major resolve buff. Anytime you use a shadow skill on a Nightblade, your major resolve is refreshed, and because I'm in 2 pieces of heavy, it's for 9 seconds. So I use my Shade, even though I'm right next to it, just to make sure that buff is refreshed and I have it up. This Templar guy over here jabs right into me. So I immediately start to, I take a lot of damage instantly, so I actually go for the undo play here. So let me show this again. So this guy goes for the Dawnbreaker, misses. I try to bow, it misses. I go to Shade to refresh. This guy jumps into me. I take a huge smack of damage because that guy that was trying to gank me, he is running a very Fighters Guild focus setup. He came out with Dawnbreaker. I saw him use Silver Shards at one point, and those skills are going to deal extra damage to me because I'm playing a vampire. So I took a huge smack between him and the Templar. So I go all the way down to 25%. So I say, you know what, screw your burst, and I undo it to get it back up, myself back up to 80%. Now this, you can tell I have a couple of missed form bugs here, and I really, really hope that ZeniMax fixes this at some point, because this screws me over a bunch of times during this BG, where I try to use mist form a couple times, and the damage actually takes me out of mist form. So really annoying there. I tried to use mist form to get reposition myself over here. But unfortunately, the mist form just didn't go off, so it wasn't really happening for us. So instead, I just say, you know what, I'll just stand over here since they stopped pressuring me, and I start to just go into my burst. Now, I saw that Nightblade stealth, so I'm immediately, trying to look around, see where he comes out of stealth. But there he goes. So as soon as he pops out, I dodge roll, and I believe we dodged his spectral bow there. Let's see. So we just start attacking, right? He comes out of stealth. Oh, no, he's got the silver shard. So he hits me with the silver shards, and I dodge the second one. So I know this guy's going to start attacking me, so we lay our shield down, we lay our heals, and I drop off just to get a little bit of LOS so that if he wants to come get me, he's got to drop off too. This guy, I see taking a lot of pressure, so I help support my team with a light attack, Swallow Soul. That's why I dropped off there. I knew that guy was going to try to pressure me. He knows I'm a vampire. He's playing a Fighters Guild focus spec, and so I knew, okay, we got to drop off. So we have that one guy we applied our debuffs to. He runs away, though, and then this guy overcommits into our team, so I do a quick fear right there to just CC anybody in the team. This guy tries to get away. We go for the light attack Swallow Soul Weave, and we do take him down. I start taking a lot of pressure from the enemy from a distance, so we just apply our damage shield and apply our heals. Very, very basic, just rotating through our defense. This guy pinches in, so we just light attack Swallow Soul. Had the bow, but didn't even need it because he died. That's another thing that I want to kind of impress upon you guys. When you see people overcommit like that, where they're really extended away from their team, which means that they're not going to be getting heals, they're not going to be getting buffs, they're not going to be getting debuffs, you want to pressure those people and punish them for overcommitting. If you see someone make a mistake, don't let them make that mistake. Make sure that you take charge of the situation and punish them for the mistake. All right? So we notice that guy is low, so we do quick damage on him. He gets taken care of. We see this green guy is alone, so we start to chase him, and I start to kind of peek back just to assess the situation and see if we're being followed by the other team, and I noticed we were. So that is why I misformed away. I'll show you guys what happened here. So we start going on to this guy, just attacking him. My whole team starts to follow. What I do is I peek here, and I see the green guys coming up from their base. They're coming this way, okay? Which means that he's about to get support, which means that they might have a guy here. They might have guys here. We might get sandwiched in our current position. So what I do is I come and I actually mist form away right here. So I now can have a good look at the entire battlefield here from my position. That's why I pulled back this far. All right, so see, immediately we take down that one green guy though from before. They start to push into us. We do a really good job at punishing this guy that pulled out from his team. This guy pushed in super deep to our team, so we immediately all turn on him and just burn him down. Very good job by my team to identify that. Very good job. This guy then pinches in. He starts damaging my teammates. So I say, you know what? I'm gonna save my teammate here, and I go into vamp form and start dealing insane damage. Probably should not have popped it there. Definitely was huge overkill. There was only one dude. We had all of our teammates here, and I popped vamp form for pretty much no reason. Especially since vamp form is such an expensive ultimate. You don't want to just use it willy-nilly. Now, as soon as I pop out of vamp form, though, I do get ganked. So again, I put up my shade for the major resolve. I put up my shield to defend myself, and I underlay a heal. I see a Dawnbreaker coming behind me, so I just immediately go, you know what? I'm going to misform into the tunnel for LOS. I do notice there is somebody in the tunnel. So what I do... Okay, so I'll show you what happens here. So this is after we're getting attacked. The Dawnbreaker comes out. That guy's been trying to gank me all game. So I go into mist form. As you guys can see, there's a guy literally right next to me. So I go, okay, you know what? We don't want to go that way. So I know my shade's back here. So I go close to my shade to get back into range, come out of mist form, poof back. Immediately cover a lot of ground. And we're now able to get away. And as you can see, they're all chasing me. So it was a good idea to put some distance between myself and the other people. So what I do is I step back and I try to apply damage to the closest person towards me. He starts to push into his team. I want to see, okay, can I get some range pressure on him? But he does dodge roll it. Now, I notice see, this is going to be a really good explanation here for this. So now we got green team in front of me to the south. And we have red team coming from the north. So I have people behind me and people in front of me. So the obvious play, where should we go, is this way. Just to put, let these guys fight here. I don't want to be there because that's where they're going to clash. So that's not where I want to be. So we just basically misform off the edge here. Get CC'd as we fall, but it's okay. I'm able to put some distance between myself and those guys. And green team actually doesn't go to fight the red team, which really surprised me. So basically what I did was right after we came out of the mist form. Okay, so we come out of the mist form. We go through this tunnel. We position ourselves over here because I'm going to use my mini map. Or actually, you know what? No, I'll just draw on the screen. So green team was positioned here. Red team was positioned here. Okay, so it actually is good for our team because I know some people might have been like, okay, well, maybe you should have gone here to the center. But it was actually better for us to go over here because if we were in the center right here, this would have made more of like a triangle, between the 3 different points. So we kind of would have all been nearly equidistant from each other. But when we're over here, this puts the green team in the middle. Look at the circles now. This puts the green team in the middle. So now we are able to basically just pinch in on the green team here, and they're the ones that are now in the hot seat. And if they want to escape, their best bet's going to be to go up this way. But I don't know if that's what happens here, but that's what would be the best bet for them in this situation. And they don't. They just pinch right into us. So we take that guy that jumped in and we start dealing some damage to him. He does pull back immediately. We got their necromancer pushes into us. So we start pushing in. Now, when I see our teammates push in, guys, you got to think about your team too in Battleground. So I make sure to start hitting my rapid regen. Get those heals rolling on those guys. Support my team. My werewolf starts overcommitting. So I go, you know what? I'm going to leave him there. I notice that this guy is taking a lot of pressure, so I'm going to try and help and peel for him. So I start dealing a lot of damage to this warden, and I force him to stop and back off my teammate and play defensively, which gives my teammate a little bit of room to heal himself. Now I start just continually pressuring this guy. We hit him with a huge spectral bow, and he dies. And unfortunately, my teammate did get killed by a stray person from either the red team or the green team. I'm not entirely sure. So unfortunately, we were not able to completely save him there. But you see the concept. I noticed he was taking pressure. So what you do is you pressure the opponent on him, and that's going to force that guy to have to peel off. So for those of you who don't know like what that term means, it's basically think of it like in the literal sense, like when you peel something, right? You're basically pulling, in the case of the video game, you're basically pulling an opponent off of a teammate. That could be done through CC, it could be done through slows, it could be done through even just pressuring them so severely that they have to reposition themselves to not die to you, which would therefore peel that person off your opponent. Or it will just simply force them to be defensive, which will then stop them from dealing damage to your ally, which will therefore allow that ally to heal themselves back up. So you can go about it in a multitude of ways. So this guy's standing right in the open, so I start to pressure him quite a lot, and I notice I immediately get marked by that stand blade. So what do? I don't just spam my shield. It's a really good lesson here. Start taking a lot of damage from the stand blade. Okay, the stand blade just has a bonner for me, dude. So I'm just attacking, right? Minding my own business. I start getting hit with snipes and just spamming my shield. I get CC'd on that one too. I immediately go to LOS because he can't damage me if I'm behind a pillar. So I reset my buffs back up to full HP. I take a peek, see if he's there. He's not. I hug the wall to try to put maximum distance between me and the platform, okay? I'm not just going to stand as close to the edge as possible and give him the range he needs. I'm going to try to go as clear to the edge as possible. So if that guy wants to attack me, he's going to have to put himself in a compromising position. Now, as you can see on my minimap on the right, I have a teammate behind me, 2 teammates in front of me. So I immediately start to push in. This guy brings us in with his armor buff. This guy dives in on us with 37% health. So I immediately punish him for it. Not really sure what my dude was doing there. So, again, excuse me. When you see people again, make mistakes. You need to punish them for it. If you see some guy charge in on you with low HP, they're on their front bar, which most likely means they're not on their defensive bar, they're on their offensive bar. If he is low health on his offensive bar, he has to use a global to swap to his back bar in order to get his defense, which means that you're going to have a little bit of time to just deal free damage to him, especially because my health was higher than his. I was pretty confident. Let me go back here. Okay. I have my spectral bow up. I am at 63% HP. He is at 37. All I know is that I should have bow procced, honestly, but I mean, the light attack swallow still got the job done. I mean, the dude's only got 9k HP left. So between like my light attack, my enchant, and the swallow soul, he just got roasted. But again, this guy's on his front bar. You punish him. He tried to vigor, but you know what? It was too late. He needed a burst heal at that low of HP, and he didn't get it. So I noticed that the red team starts to pinch in on my team. My team is fighting green team. So what I do is I stay off to the right here to basically kind of force the red guys into the middle, because we got my team here, these guys here, and by me being here, I can put pressure on them to basically force them back to relieve pressure off my team, or pull them onto me, and then I'll just kite them out, you know, for days because of mist form. So we start to put pressure on them, and see, that's exactly what happens. This guy has to run away because I'm putting too much damage on him. My team recognizes what we're doing. They go for the pinch, and unfortunately, I think this dude does get away. So good stealth on his part, good recovery. Now, we are in the middle here, so I go for my shadow image just to kind of refresh my shadows, or my major resolve, excuse me. Werewolf seriously overcommitted and died. So that very, very bad play on his part, but it's all right. It happens. So I kind of start to pull in, though, because I do have one guy with me. He gets interrupted by somebody else, though. So now I kind of have just a 1v1 with this DK here. So let's go back a little bit. So we try to attack this red guy. He stealths at the last second. That dude had like literally 5 HP. Werewolf goes serious overcommitment here. He's getting ganked. He's got 2 or 3 people on him. I have a guy behind me, and I have a guy all the way to the west. So he's totally by himself. I start to pinch in because I know if I get in a hairy situation that I have my shade and can get out. One of the beauties of playing Nightblade is you can put yourself in compromising positions sometimes because you do have the mobility to escape should you be in a dangerous situation. Now, I go to the bottom here. Now, even though I have my back to the red team, I pretty much know that the majority of the red team is in front of me. So I don't have to worry about getting ganked from behind. Now, this guy did not go with his teammate who is all the way up here. He is still here with me. So I probably have a 1v1 with this individual. So he goes into the fossilize. I immediately dodge roll afterwards to try to see if he goes for the power lash. He's wearing Ice Heart as well. It's an interesting choice for Magicka, but he's just taking so much pressure that I just keep the gas pedal going here. And then I pop Vamp Form just for the BM, and then I go into the Merciless proc afterwards. So like I said, we got all of our debuffs applied. You can see we got everything is up. We're chilling. This is like I talked about in my build video, okay? We get the bow. You immediately go into Vamp Form and disguise the bow with the Vamp proc. The Vamp Form has a lot of particles going on at once. So if you can, there's a lot of sound, there's a lot of particles, okay? If you can disguise your bow inside the transformation, people won't be able to see it, they won't be able to hear it as well, and therefore they won't be as reactive to it, and that's why this guy got shunked. So I immediately start getting snipes because I made myself an absolutely massive target. So as much as I want to apply pressure to that guy and kill him, I know I'm taking a lot of damage. So I just let my bats do the work. Let my bats do the work while I play defense. So we get our shields and our heals reapplied. We start debuffing this guy up. I try to go for the CC, but unfortunately I did miss. Oh, that beautiful, juicy, non-crit bow. So we light attack weave, get the bow up on this guy, and just boom. Light attack bow, 10k non-crit damage to that guy. We just absolutely finish off that one team, man. Just huge destruction with the Vamp Form, dude. We start getting attacked from the right, so what we're going to do is we're going to mist, and we're going to peel off to the left. Again, this is to make sure that I can put some distance between me and that guy, and that's why I've turned back, so I can see if he's coming, and as you can see, he is. But that's why we went the way we did. If I had went towards the red team base, I would have been putting myself in a compromising position. So I know that this guy's following me, so I keep walking back, meet up with my team, and now we have a squad. Plus, I knew the green team was coming right here, so if I had stopped here to fight that guy behind me, they would have just swung and attacked me. So it's much better to put myself here so that, again, you actually instead, we kind of have the triangle again, where all the teams are kind of in between each other, and it's up to one team to make the first move. But this is where we want to be. Okay, so these guys come into us. So I start getting attacked by this Templar, and everyone starts focusing me. So again, I try to mist form, and thanks to this wonderful new bug with my defensive skill, it immediately just pulls me out of it for some fucking reason. I have no idea why. It tilts the crap out of me. So we try to mist form again. I dodge roll into my heals. I'm trying to shield. I'm trying to shade. But unfortunately, we get killed. Now, in that case, the mist form bug is what killed me. I really liked what I was doing in concept. It was just not getting that initial mist form caused me to take a lot of additional pressure and burn a lot of extra Magicka that I didn't have to burn. And so because of that, we did die. Also, once we swapped to dampen, that helps a lot with situations like that where we're being put behind. The dampen shield is significantly larger than the harness Magicka shield. So I learned from situations like that where I felt like harness Magicka and rapid regen was not enough to catch me up from a behind position in terms of health, but swapping to dampen solved a lot of those issues, which, you know, again, this is why you test, so that when you put yourselves in certain situations, you go, okay, you know, I feel like when I'm on the back foot, I'm not able to play, you know, recover as well. What could I do? Maybe I need a bigger damage shield. My sustain feels okay. So let me swap away from harness more towards dampen, but you'll only notice that if you actually go out and test. So I start getting pressured from that team in the middle, and that is why I just kite and kite and kite and kite, because they are just pressuring the living crap out of me. Now I just get caught. Okay, my team just gets hard pinched here. Let's go over what happened again. So we're attacking these guys. Okay, we're just gonna go through. Green team immediately sees me. They start attacking me. Now, this was a mistake on my part. The logic in my head was, okay, let me pinch back to my team. But we saw the red team go this way. We know that the red team is engaged with our team. I have one teammate dead, one teammate low. Okay, so we start to, let me clear this off. I'm still kind of getting used to the controls with my pen. Two teammates dead, one teammate just spawned. This is actually right where the mistake happens. Okay, so green team starts damaging me. Should not go back this way. Should absolutely not do this, okay? I should go into mist form right now while I have, it's got like 66% HP, so my HP is still pretty healthy, and go this way instead. Now, what would that have done for us? Okay, let me clear this off and show you. Okay, what that would have done for us is that if the green team wanted to follow me, they would have followed me away from my base, and I have 70% Magicka. So I could have just mistformed for 300 years. I could have mistformed for a very, very long time, and they would not have probably been able to catch up to me. And then at that point, I probably would have pulled a guy or two off the group, and I probably killed them both with my damage. But we try to go back towards our team instead, which I just definitely don't think was the call, because as you can see, my team's dead as shit. So we just get caught in between. Now we're stuck. And then we die. All right. So again, it just goes to show why positioning is so important. So we should have kited off towards the that area, like this tower, right here. Like we should have kited off towards that way and not towards our team. You know, it can be nice to think sometimes, okay, let me go meet back up with my team. But if your team's in the process of getting wiped up the floor, you know, then it's probably not the best concept. So these guys are fighting, so what we just do is we just stay up here and pepper them from above with damage, and just trying to kind of weave it in. My weaves are just not going off for some reason. This guy is sniping me. We don't have our shade up, so I really need to apply this just for my necropotence. I don't know why it's taken me so long. So we're just going to town, though, and just weave it on this guy trying to deal damage. Again, if we had our shade up, we would have been dealing a lot more damage. Please put it up. Thank you. So we weave in the light attacks on the back bar. Don't forget, even though it's a resto bar, you still want to weave in those light attacks to proc your back bar enchant. This guy overcommits onto my teammate, so I'm going to punish the shit out of him, and I'm going to deal a lot of damage and kill him. Again, guy overcommits, punish him for the mistake. And my hope is that, guys, with these commentaries, that you start to notice a lot of the positioning things. so that when you see people make positional mistakes, you guys can take advantage of them and make people pay. Now, this is a great play that I love immediately. So, what ends up happening, we come up. We really need to refresh our fucking shade, please, Dots Gaming. I go to refresh the shade. Beautiful. I get pulled in by this dude's armor. I am in the middle of the shit. We have 500 ult, baby. Let's pop that vamp form, dude. So we pop the vamp form. We get the bats going. We start immediately pressuring this guy. We go into the bow with the light attack swallow souls. Unfortunately, we did dodge the last swallow soul, so I'm trying to follow these guys, though, to finish them off. We just go into our weave, Take, the red guy does steal our kill, unfortunately, so you go, you know what? Not on my watch. So we're following him around, and we're going to be angry as hell for him stealing that kill. I don't think I should have chased there. I liked the initial play of popping the vamp form in the middle of the group to get the bats for big healing and huge AoE damage, but I think I got really thirsty for the kill, and unfortunately, I ended up following two guys, and we only got one of the two kills there, so it did waste a significant portion of my vamp form. I should have let those two guys go and just stayed up top to get the most effective number of kills in that situation. So definitely was the right initial call, but getting hungry for that chase was not the smart move. So again, this guy is separated from the fight, so we're gonna catch him as he's going into the fight, punish him for his positional mistake, and he does die. Dude guy's starting ganked by my best friend here, so we immediately start to go into him, fire off the bow, but he does stealth it off, so a good play on his part. I replaced my shade, or I think I tried to, and it just didn't want to go off and cooperate. So we get CC'd. We do CC break it. We're going into our weave. Have my bow. We proc it. This guy's got like fucking 4 health, but unfortunately he does escape by the edge of his something. I don't know. I'm still drinking my coffee. I can't think of good analogies here. Oh, this is a good play for some shade gameplay, boys. Shade is, man, good shade plays make me feel all kinds of ways. So I place the shade down in the tunnel. Okay. And what I like to do when I know I'm going to use shade is I like to pull people as far away or into as compromising of a place as possible and then poof away. So I basically wait to pull these guys out of the tunnel and then poof, so that they have to turn around and go back into the tunnel, and I'll have a small amount of LOS to actually be able to kite. Now, unfortunately, I took that really good play and turned it into a really bad play. So this is what happens. We see this guy with low HP. We get really thirsty. Now, there's no need for me to attack this guy. I have approximately no offensive buffs up. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I should have instead gone up that way and shot down from up top. I could have reset my buffs. I would have had a little bit of LOS from the side of the cliff here on these two guys, and I would have been able to kill this guy who's got like 0 health with ease. So just a really, really bad misplay, and it goes to show why your buff and debuff maintenance is so important, because when you don't have it, your damage is going to lack. Okay. So definitely a couple good examples, and this is why I chose this specific BG to showcase, is because this was my first game back on my Magblade in a while, really long time. Been a long time since I've played Nightblade, Magicka specifically. So there was a couple of big mistakes that I think acted as a really good showcase for a commentary like this. BG's almost over. I do believe we actually take the win on this one, though, as it does draw closer to an end. So we start to push up here towards our teammate. Let me take another sip of coffee, man. I'm so tired. All right, so our one teammate gets instantaneously jumped on. So what I try to do is reposition myself to a bit of a more advantageous position here. I know the entire green team is, half the green team is dead, half the other green team is engaged. So I try to put myself, again, away from the fight so that I can get a good vantage point, and then I realize that they're actually engaged, so I do kind of pinch back in with my teammate. But again, I'm off the side of the fight. I put the red team in the middle. Okay, so we start dealing damage to this Dragon Knight, and we know, okay, these guys are all here fighting. Now's a good time to pop Vamp Form. So I go, I start Light Attack, Swallow Soul. Gonna get a big bow proc here, or never mind, we just Swallow Soul and kill him and get that final kill. But we popped the Vamp Form there because they were grouped up, because they were taking damage. It was near the end of the BG, and we wanted to make sure that we dealt as much damage as physically possible. But good game overall, man. Very, very good game. 16-4. I believe we were also top in damage as well. Like I said, and this was not our final product for the Magicka Nightblade build. We actually baked a little bit more damage into it. A little bit better defense too, because initially I didn't know how bad the vampire would feel. So I think I was running like a vampire stage 2, an absorb Magicka glyph, and harness. And now with the final iteration, I'm actually running dampen. I'm running a shock glyph for minor vulnerability, which basically causes my opponents to take 8% more damage. And I am also running vampire stage 3 for undeath. So we're tankier and have better damage compared to this game. So like I said, though, I wanted to use this game to kind of showcase what some mistakes and stuff look like. Now, guys, I know that this ended up being a 35-minute video for a 13-minute clip, but I think this was really fun to do. It was really fun to watch back my old gameplay, commentate on my mistakes. Absolutely, I'm loving this new drawing tool. I think it's really cool, but I want to hear your guys' feedback about the new style of PvP commentaries in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about this and if you like it. And if you do, of course, like it, smack that like button. It's how we get this video noticed by people. And if you have, if you want to keep up to date with PvP commentaries, PvP builds, and the upcoming PvP Basics series, please hit that sub button as well as the bell to keep notifications on. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I'm Dots Gaming, and I'll see y'all in the next one.